If there was a mascot that rivaled Sonic and Mario, it would be Crash Bandicoot, breaking crates and frustrating evil-minded scientists for a while. Though my experience doesn't unfortunately start with the first game. Nope, it goes back to Mind Over Mutant. But regardless, today I thought it might be interesting to not only talk about the first game, not only the second, but all three in general. This is gonna be fun. So for God knows how long, an evil genius by the name of Cortex has been experimenting on animals. One day out, an experiment on a bandicoot goes completely wrong, and said bandicoot escapes. Unbeknownst to the bandicoot who we'll just call Crash, Cortex has what can only be known as a sick furry's twisted red dream, also known as Tana, held hostage. Well, besides her presence in the bonus rounds, standing like she's in a game show, she doesn't really do much in this game. In fact, she doesn't even have much of a purpose. For a while, this was even her first and last appearance. Her awesome, yet slightly disappointing return in Crash 4 It's About Time, but that's for another time. But regardless, our Australian Bandicoot is controlled using the D-pad and only the D-pad, which might frustrate a few, but it doesn't personally bother me. He does feel a little stiff though, so be careful. You can do the spin attack with square and jump with X, the basic stuff really. And that's pretty much all of his moves. Simple and straight to the point. Crash also jumps in these weird arcs, almost like he's trying to be Sonic. They do the job fine enough though. They are slow and stiff enough to the point where you have to be careful with them. Crash is very vulnerable. One touch by any deadly threat and he's out of the picture. Luckily for us, there's a mask that we can obtain, simply known as Aku Aku. If you have one or two, he'll grant you temporary invincibility until you get hit. But if you manage to get him a third time, it's basically like the start in Mario, but this time Crash wears Aku Aku as a catchy bongo loop plays.
What have I got?
One thing I don't like about Crash is the fact that he's very slippery, almost like his feet are made out of butter.
You saw nothing.
But another thing about this game is the difficulty. Yeah, this game is hard. Not the Dark Souls of gaming, I mean that's fucking stupid, but it's still pretty hard. And one of those reasons are breaking all the crates. You see, in the first Crash Bandicoot, if you die at any point, once you respawn, the boxes will be unbroken. Not only that, but you'll skip the tally screen, leading you directly back to the map screen. A minor gripe I have with this game is the fact that it's not really varied in its level themes. In fact, more often than not, the game repeats the level themes, making it easy to confuse and interchange levels. Bosses are another can of worm entirely, and they are pathetically easy. So easy you question why they were even put in the game. Even Cortex is pathetically easy. In fact, if you manage to collect all the gems, you don't even have to fight him. Hooray! Next up, Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back. And wait, I just want to do something quickly in the Japanese version.
Crash Bandicoot 2 コルテックスの逆襲スタートボタンを押すのだ
So what we have here is a music video, duh, with the single most catchiest music of all time. I seriously can't get enough of this. But let one thing sink in for a moment. In this single music video alone, Crash has been able to get more ladies than you will ever in your lifetime, including the one who invented the Crash dance. But anyway, our story continues after the defeat of Cortex against Crash Bandicoot. In the midst of crash landing, he discovers crystals. And after a fairly decent Homer Simpson impression, he is informed by Engine that this one crystal isn't really enough and thus is forced to use the help of our Bandicoot by telling him it's to save the world. This time around, Crash controls a lot better than he has in Crash 1. Not only that, but he now has a slide and slide jump, two very fun moves to pull off. You can also crouch and crawl, or as Link likes to call it, the duck walk. This time around, collecting crystals is the aim of the game, and unfortunately for Crash, there are plenty of them to spare. What does that even mean? You also have a super jump, which I rarely use, and a body slam. I used to body slam a whole lot as a kid. It was really fun. Along with TNT boxes, we also get Nitro boxes. One touch and he's up in the sky. Remember the boxes being restored thing from earlier? Well, now when you get a checkpoint and then die, the boxes you've destroyed remain destroyed. Crash isn't gadgetless in this adventure though. He has Polar and his levels are pretty fun. And you've got the jet ski on water, I guess. Those are a little hard and slippery to control, but they are nothing compared to the jetpack. They control poorly, they are slow and clunky, and they are overall not very fun at all. And making this the final battle with Cortex was a cheap move, but as a whole, the graphics and animations look far better than the first game. Crystals are fairly easy to get, but gems on the other hand, oh boy. Unlike the first game, the way you obtain gems in this game is by doing a certain objective the game doesn't even tell you about. The soundtrack is even better, as I stated earlier with the Crash Bandicoot Japanese music video. And overall, the graphics makes the game feel more alive. I just wish they eliminated the whole repetition thing entirely, because oh boy, you'll be backtracking a lot more in this game, combined with the fact that A, the camera doesn't move for you, and B, these levels are once again not designed for backtracking, and you've got a cluster of repetition, which is a shame because everything else is done really well. It's just, man, they could have gotten rid of the backtracking entirely. If you manage to complete a stage without dying, you get a death path, which are essentially like the bonus rooms in the previous game, but only from hell, and designed by Satan himself. Seriously, most of the death paths are filled to the brim with nitro cards. It's kinda absurd.
Sony Computer Entertainment Universal Interactive Studio Naughty Dog Crash Bandicoot
世界一周
スタートボタンを押すのだ
Unlike Crash 2, in the Japanese version there were a bunch of shorts. One about Crash being on stage, one about Coco smothering Crash to smithereens, and some other I don't care to mention. A more interesting one, however, is the one where Crash visits Australia, because he can do that apparently.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Anyways, after destroying the last Cortex satellite with the help of Embryo,
We are ready, Crash. Would you like to do the honors?
one of the parts of the satellite crash lands, resulting in a spirit that looks more like a blue jelly floating away. Meanwhile, at the Bandicoot's house, Aku senses that his twin brother, has been freed, turning out to be Uka Uka. We also find out that Cortex has been working for Uka Uka in the past 2 games, and thus Uka Uka is planning on using a time twister machine invented by Entropy, who looks like the genie from Aladdin. Imagine if they had the same voice.
You're a lot smaller than my last master.
Wait a minute. I'm your master?
I'm your lean, mean, wish fulfillment machine. Say what you will want from me, I will give it to you free. Yeah!
But yeah, that's the story of Crash 3, and now you can play as the Bandicoot at his absolute best. Perfected controls and a whole lot of variety in the levels because we get to travel to time and space. Insert Doctor Who joke here. After defeating a boss, Crash obtains a new power-up, and oh boy, boss battles here actually provide a challenge. They each have a different strategy and they're overall very fun. But wanna know what's even more funner? The upgrades. The ones you can get are the Death Spin Tornado, which can help you with those tricky jumps, a supercharged body slam, basically a more powerful body slam, the Fruit Bazooka, which is a little clunky to use, but it's still pretty fun, and finally, the Super Dash. Now what the heck do you think it does, genius? These can be pretty useful for the new time relics. Oh yeah, that's right, this game introduced time relics. Oh my god, I just spat on my hand. Damn it. These are pretty much the time trials of the game. Once you grab the clock starts ticking and it's a race against time to the finish. There are also boxes that hinder the time, as you can collect up to 3 of them. Coco can now be played, thank God. Unfortunately, however, she's only really available in the animal riding levels, the jet ski, the plane in World War I, don't ask questions, and the giant mech, which is a shame cause I wish they gave her more of a role. Maybe make it so that Coco can also play Crash's stages, or even vice versa. So without being said in conclusion, yes, I do think the third one is the best one. Crash 2 is actually like the middle ground between Crash 1 and Crash 3. It's just the repetitions that keep it from being the best. And Crash 1, well, it is the start. Although the best way to play that one is with the Insane Trilogy. Even though they butchered the most with the third one, I still recommend this one to anyone, even platformer fans. Alright? There's some crystallized dragons and dragon eggs I need to retrieve. See you guys in Spyro 2 Rippler's Rage.